Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are starting a Dark Souls 1 playthrough as we read some unbelievable stories. The stories will be linked in the description below, and if you like videos like this video and subscribe, and check out the playlist where all of my reading stories videos are. That being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone skills. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark side brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
AITA for skipping my own surprise birthday party. Once I found out it wasn't really for me. I have never been big on birthdays. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate them. I just prefer something low-key. Dinner with my closest friends, maybe watch a film. Something small, basically. Everyone close to me knows this, especially my sister. Let's call her Maya, who loves big gestures and believes every birthday or achievement needs balloons and a theme and much, much more. 2 weeks before my birthday, Maya started acting strange. She kept asking me if I'd be free that Saturday, and acted weirdly when I asked why. I suspected that she was up to something. So I told her again that I didn't want to party. She just laughed and said that as per usual I was being no fun. A couple nights ago, the night before my birthday, one of our mutual friends let it slip about it being a party. She mentioned what she was wearing. Anyway, it turns out the whole family was invited, and it was at our parents' house. Some co-workers were also invited, but here's the kicker. My fking ex. For a little context, me and ex broke up about 2 months ago. It ended pretty badly, no abuse or cheating, but it wasn't a pleasant ending. I've made it pretty clear to everyone in my life that I want no contact. Maya knows this. However, she's told me multiple times that I should just get over the whole situation, because he's a nice guy and that he's been a part of all our lives for years. The first thing that I did was call Maya, demanding answers, and she didn't deny it. She just said that we could finally talk it all out. She admitted that she hadn't just thrown this party for my birthday, but also so everyone could see my ex again and we could fix things between us. She literally said to me that I'd thank her later. I went mad. I said to her she had no right, that I would have been ambushed into the situation on MY birthday. And this was all after I had specifically said that I didn't want to party. She just said that I was dramatic and bloody ungrateful, that she had this whole thing planned because I wouldn't find better and it was a good gift. She said everyone had gifts and traveled, that everyone was excited. So, yesterday, my birthday, I completely powered off my phone and didn't let anyone know other than my best friend. So we went out for lunch and went on a walk together. Ended up having a great day. When I finally got home, I turned my phone on and it was mental. Maya was fuming. People were disappointed. People even said I embarrassed Maya. Maya is now basically saying that I ruined the whole party and made it all about me. It was literally my birthday. She says that she did it out of a good place in her heart, and that I should at least apologize for not showing up and letting people know. So am I the asshole?
The fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I would
I
hate to
dined
hurry you
and
up to
dashed
death.
last night because the service was so fucking bad. Having worked in customer service for so many years, I have great leniency for when things go wrong, but last night just broke me. I ordered a cocktail, an appetizer being chips and dip, and my entree being a steak. After I got my cocktail, it was 40 minutes until anyone came by my table again. I saw my server serving the table adjacent to mine, and they got their food. However, he wouldn't even look in my direction for me to get his attention. Now I wouldn't mind a wait, as I understand that the kitchen gets backed up or whatever. But for 40 minutes at least communicate something, or ask if I want another drink for fuck's sake. When my food finally did arrive after 40 minutes, it was just my entree, no appetizer. I reminded them, and they would bring it over, but at that point I was already checked out. I ate what I could finish as I got kind of full, and then I waited for them to come by again, as I wanted to check, and ate a go box. However, at this point I realized they simply wouldn't be coming back at all, so I said fuck it and straight up left. I was seriously so pissed off at this point. I never in my life thought I would dine and dash, but they pissed me off so much last night.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
I need some advice to preface this. I'm going to give some backstory about myself. I'm a sophomore in high school and just recently moved. So last October or so, I got really bored and decided, hey, I'm going to go mess with people on Tinder. Not like catfishing or anything. More so using stupid pickup lines, etc. All was going well. I got a couple laughs. And then some person added me and started making very, well, let's just say suggestive comments. To this I decided I would clown on them and mess with them BC. They were very persistent. That was a big mistake. My second big mistake was giving them my Instagram handle. I figured since I had no post or anything, it was no big deal. But this person was able to get more info than I would have preferred from them. After this, they became much more aggressive, like way more aggressive. threats ranging from rape to killing me. I was incredibly naive at the time and didn't think to block the person because, well, I was having a bit too much fun with it. Clowning on them and baiting them with my friends was pretty entertaining. Eventually, it came to my attention that they were an alum of my high school. I also found out that they weren't who they said they were, and that it was actually a gay black dude from OU instead of some random basic white chick. BC, he was an alum. I decided to ask around some seniors I knew to try to get some info on him. I learned a lot, and my biggest takeaway was that I was messing with the wrong person. Apparently, his threats weren't as empty as I thought they were, and that he would do everything in his power to ruin my life if I blocked him, etc. So I blocked him, and all was good until about a year later. It's August now, and all of a sudden he keeps popping back up. He's made new accounts and reassessed me on them multiple times. And I'm not sure what to do. His harassment will not stop, and I just want this to stop. Almost once a week, a new account will add my Insta to Snap and send messages such as, "Why did you block me? You're going to regret that." It will not stop, and I don't know what to do. I keep blocking the account. It will not stop. Please, I need help. Who are you really / it makes me shake. This is a story that's hard to share, but also it's something I desperately need to get off of my chest. It's a story about learning the true meaning of naivete and deception. A story of destruction and of rebirth. I guess it all started about 3 or 4 years ago, when I had been working at my first job for about 2 years. That was the year that I would meet the 2 men that changed my life forever. One for the better and one for the much worse. The restaurant I worked at had been bought out by a big company, so there was a big overhaul in staff and everything else. A whole new set of managers and some new wait staff as well. One of these men would become my boyfriend 3 years later, and we're still very much in love now. The other, let's just call him POS because I can't even think of his name without getting upset. POS started as a manager at that time. I never took much note of him. He was nice enough and seemed funny. I worked there for a while, getting closer as a friend to my current boyfriend. I then left that job for a good 6 months before returning to it. At this point, most of the staff had changed because of high turnover. I only knew about 3 of the workers, one of which was POS. Flash to about 1 year later where him and I are okay friends and I'm well into dating my boyfriend. He starts telling me compliments and love bombing me. He constantly found my weak spots and tried to make them better. He always tried to buy me things and get me to work more hours with him. I learned many things about him during this time. I started to notice how very unstable he was. The dots started to connect, and I remembered how many fights he'd gotten into in his defense or the restaurant. I stared thinking about his weapon collection and how off his voice was when he said, "I had you picked out from the moment I met you." In my biggest moment of weakness, when I felt ugly and vulnerable, he made me feel pretty. And I made what I believe is the biggest mistake in my entire life. I listened to him. I sent him pictures that could destroy my relationship. I was naive in believing in all the ways he related to me. He was just a great liar. He even joked to me about his mask and his 9 other personalities. I want to go back and slap myself for not putting it all together faster. The crazed look he got in his eyes sometimes, his breakdowns. So much it were red flags that I didn't see. He knew how to manipulate me and the people around me. None of it even hit until about a week after I quit that place. Then one night out of the blue, he starts messaging me. Things start escalating because I had told him there would never be anything between us the last time I'd seen him. He starts ranting about justice and how he could see through me and my lies. He said I needed to tell my boyfriend about us or he would. I told him there wasn't us, and that it wasn't his business. He kept insisting that he loved me, and that we needed to be together. He couldn't take no for an answer, even though he kept asking and asking for me to tell him it was over. I told him and he couldn't take it. He kept calling me a crazy bitch and trying to gaslight me. I'm thankful that I was strong enough not to believe him, and to completely cut him off from my life. Then it got worse. He started talking in third person. calling himself Jack the Ripper, saying he was going to find me and find my boyfriend. I was panicking in my room, crying and throwing up all while trying to deal with this. I asked him what he wanted, and all he said back was, "You." I've never felt that kind of feeling before. I started thinking about how much I love my boyfriend. My amazing purposeful has been with me through everything, and I calmed down. That's when I marched to my boyfriend's room. Sit him down and tell him everything. And we talk, and he forgave me. And it hurt, and I still haven't completely forgiven myself for hurting that way, but I'm hoping one day I will. I messaged POS and told him I already told my boyfriend, and that he didn't have any more power over me. He then started grasping at straws, threatening my other job where I work with children, even threatening my PlayStation account. He's a genius. He's insane. I called him by his name while he was talking in other personalities, and he told me to call him Jack or there would be consequences. I blocked him on everything. I deleted my Facebook. I disconnected myself from everyone who works there, and I spent an entire day speaking to police and the principal of my work. While talking to the police, they told me that soon he'll find someone new to target, so I could rest easy. But that didn't make me feel better. I still felt sick, because even if he's not fixated on me, that doesn't mean some other poor girl deserved him to do that to her. That experience with the police changed me. What do you do when someone says you have to be with them, or he'll kill you and the person you love? I didn't know, and I still don't. I still have nightmares. That Friday while I was driving home from work, I got pulled over because an anonymous person called me describing my car and license plate, saying I was drunk and on drugs. Wonder who that was. I calmly explained to the officer that I was coming home from work and gave him my case number. I got about 8 calls a day from different random numbers for about 3 days after. Months later, after so much therapy and work, I see him twice. And one day, I know his car, so I pretty much get anxious whenever I see the color or make of that car anywhere. One day, my worst fear happened. I was just on my way to a doctor's appointment, and my turn was literally one light up. I pull up to a car that is way too familiar to me, and I notice that there is no way for me to escape. He knows my car. My windows aren't well tinted. I see the shadow of his hair move, and know it's him, and my stomach rolls. I pull out my phone and call my mom, shaking so bad I had to redial twice. I ended up making 5 different turns to get to the doctor instead of 1, and I parked very hidden. I was very proud of how calm I was when I walked in for my appointment. It was very hard. After my appointment, I meet with my best friend, and we go to walk her adorable dogs around her house. This guy knew where we were, because my car was right there at my friend's house. And I see familiar movement from the corner of my eye. I seriously went cold. I see him walking and start across the street to the side where we are at. I didn't even say anything. I just dragged the dogs around the corner and kept turning and going until I felt safe. When I explained to my friend what happened, she helped me calm down. And honestly, I'm just very thankful she was there. I am now writing this 7 months later. I'm still undergoing therapy from this, but I have started to do something very important. I've been reclaiming my space in my mind. I have slowly started to reach out to old co-workers from that restaurant. And I even went outside of the restaurant to say hi to managers and servers I knew. I found out the next day from my good friend that works there that he said he was uncomfortable with me being there. I laughed. I genuinely laughed really hard. And then I went back for the next 3 days to pick my friend up from there, just to make a point. I haven't been strong enough to go inside yet, though. So many of my nightmares are placed there. I can smell it. I can hear the glasses clinking, and it makes me shake. There's a certain shade of blue he wears. And if I see it, it makes me shake. In every dream I have that color is always lurking in the background. His presence is always felt. There's a big festival that includes that restaurant every year. It's so much fun, and it would be the first year I could go in 4 years because I always worked it. My friend invited me to go, and I was hesitant at first because this is somewhere I knew he would be. But I went, and sure enough, when we passed the restaurant, he was wearing the blue shirt. And instead of seeing him from the corner of my eye like I had on my dream, I looked him in the face. I got so angry, was just insanely pissed off, and honestly pretty anxious. I just kept walking and forced myself out of the funk. I will be posting updates if anything more happens. Thank you so much for sharing this journey with me. Thank you for reading if you did. In fact, read any of it. This is the deepest story in my heart at this point on my life. So by reading it, you are given a great piece of me. A fine line between fantasy and reality. What are the effects of being stalked? Once it happens, does it affect you? In what way? I was 16, going about life and trying to score well in tests to go to college of my choice. He was in the class adjacent to mine. I've never spoken to him. I've only seen him around here and there. When school was about to end, he sent a slam book to a friend for me to write in. I found it very weird because we have had absolutely no contact, and I refused to write in it and told her that I didn't know him, so I wouldn't. On the last day of school while I'm waiting in the parking lot, he and a friend come stand in front of me and start saying things and making hand gestures. I don't say anything, so I just walk away as the car arrived. He then started calling up my aunt. I'd given everyone at school her number and talking to her. It never struck me as excessively odd because she never could remember his name, and she just told me it was one of my classmates. He was trying to get into a similar college to mine, so they just talked about that. A year later, a friend calls me and tells me that he came to her house asking information about me. He apparently told her that he liked her so much because she was friends with me. Her dad was at home when it happened, so he told her to inform me. She thought I knew about him, but I didn't. He was apparently also going around my town looking for me and asking other people about me. She told me about how he followed me home and that she found this out from someone else, but I had no idea about that either. Then I remembered all the times he and I were going the same direction, his vehicle coming behind mine. But I brushed it off thinking that it was because he lived nearby. How very wrong was I? I was 18 and I was coming home for Christmas vacation and saw him on the way to my house. He was with a friend. They started following me. I had to get my passport renewed, so I needed to schedule an appointment. For that, I went to the office, and as I was telling them some personal info, he came in and started to make small talk with one of the men there. I got out after my work there was done. His friend and him were on the other side of the road to where my car was parked. I went home, but it didn't seem like they were following me then. But it doesn't matter really, because they already knew where I lived. I checked my phone after I got home, and I had a message from an unknown number around the time I was in the office. It was him. He introduced himself in it. I immediately blocked him, and he messaged it from another number this time. The message said that his motive wasn't to mess with me, and that he never talked to me in school or did anything else because of same. He would delete my number, everything he had as a reminder of me, and that this would be his last message if I thought so. It ended with him saying that he just wanted me to know that he liked me. I blocked this number as well. I found it very creepy that he had to delete my number and everything he had as a reminder of me, mostly because I don't know how he got my number and we've never interacted for him to have things that remind him of me. I thought I saw him just outside my backyard the next day, but I just rushed inside and locked the doors and didn't dare peek out the window. The next few days I was looking out the window every now and then making sure there was no there. I felt unsafe in my own home. I got back to college when I got a call from an unknown number. Because I'd given my number for official purposes, I don't always know who exactly was calling me, but I still picked up because it could have been important. It was his friend. He said I had no right to just block him like that, and that I did not know how to respect people. He said the stalker changed after what I had done to him, and that I was ruining his life, and that the stalker did not know that he'd called me. He said he didn't want me to be the reason for the ruin of someone's life, so he was telling me this. In order to undo the damage I had done, I needed to talk to the stalker. He was very demanding and pushy. I said refused. I genuinely felt afraid and traumatized by that phone call so much so that I ran to friends in tears and told them about it. They told me if it were to happen again, I should just tell him off. For a while, whenever I got phone calls from an unknown number, my heart would start pounding and my hands would start shaking. I was afraid it would be them again. I was 19 when I got a message from an unknown number asking me how my exams were. I don't know how he knew I had exams then. Maybe he had friends spying on me. I blocked that number as well. I then proceeded to cut off all my school friends because I didn't know who was giving him information about me. I was getting very paranoid, especially when I got a phone call from someone I knew back then. Of course I didn't pick up. Then I got random messages from a few numbers that I again blocked. The reason I didn't change my number was because I had given it in a number of places for official purposes, and it would be a pain to change it from everywhere. I still don't know if he has people spying on me, and I don't know if he has gone for good, but I still feel unsafe and afraid sometimes. No one should have to go through things like this just because someone doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. Getting obsessed with someone to the point of threatening them with your life is downright horrifying.
Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse. Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this, and I guarantee a reward. Only later.
The man who I was going to marry. I'll make it brief. About a month ago, a man came to my boyfriend's work and asked to speak to him. He asked if my boyfriend was my boyfriend confirmed, and asked who he was / what he could do for him. He said, I just wanted to meet the guy who was with the girl I proposed to. My boyfriend, assuming this is a misunderstanding, asks, and who's that? Guy gives my full name. My boyfriend asks his name, so he can tell me. He said hello, and the guy gives him a death glare and walks away. I am 10,000% sure that I do not know who this person is, or at the very least 100% sure it isn't someone I dated. Only one person has ever proposed to me, and my boyfriend has met the person prior. I went through every person that remotely matched the description, even if it didn't make sense, and my boyfriend said none of them wear him. Today I confirm for sure that my dance bag is missing from my car. I only leave my car unlocked at home. If someone was to steal something from my car, there are a lot of tools and things that would be worth stealing. A lot more than my bag of sweaty old shoes and tights / leotards. Maybe I somehow forgot to lock my car someplace and someone stole it, because the bag itself is cute, but I really can't imagine I would leave it unlocked like that. Paranoia or...
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you. Not enough. Well, what have we here?
Co-worker does not like me. I'm a new hire server at a bar / restaurant. I've worked here for several months ADP, and I am having issues with one of the bartenders I have frequent shifts with. From my understanding, this bartender is known for not being nice to other bartenders and servers, and to not take her treatment toward me personally, because she's like this a lot of people. However, I made a huge mistake at work that I genuinely thought I would be fired for. I'm trying to keep details as vague as possible just in case someone I know sees this somehow. She handled my mistake for me, and everything worked out. I apologized to everyone involved, and made it very clear I would never do what I did again. Everyone, even said co-worker, was very nice about the situation, and said don't let it eat me up. The next shift, I worked my co-worker was there as a customer, and essentially talked bad about me to bartenders and server on shift. At one point during the night, I had accidentally broken a glass. Toxic co-worker then said to the other server on shift that I have to go, and need to be fired. A fellow server defended me. The other people on shift assured me that she is just a bully and that she is a common denominator and to not feel like I'm the problem. Sorry if the context is long, but what I need advice on is what should I do since most of my shifts are with her? I'm afraid that my mistakes are going to cause even worse treatment from a toxic co-worker while on shift with one another. I'm stuck on deciding to change my schedule so I don't have to work with her or to continue acting like I'm unaware of her dislike for me. I've worked in service and fast food for many years, so tense relationships with managers or co-workers are not new to me. However, this is on a different level. I'm afraid costumers and other staff will have a bad perception of me based on how I now know she talks about me. Any advice or support is greatly appreciated. Thank you, smiley face. There are a lot of details I have left of this story that add even more to the layers of this relationship and workplace dynamics, but don't want to include in case someone can tie it back to me, so sorry ABT that. Reported coworker. I work at a large credit card company, and I work in the fraud department. The particular department the claims are suspicious and suspected the cardholders are involved. I had an inbound call last month where the card member was frustrated for being liable for claim. I get hard calls all the time. I've been here almost 5 years. Nothing new for me. This card member already called him prior the same day, and the supervisor request was already put in for them to call them back. I explained why they were responsible, advised what evidence was needed. In the call, they mentioned they worked at the same bank in headquarters, which I didn't acknowledge, and kept the call going. At a later point, he asked my first name, which I confirmed. Then at later point proceeded to ask if it said my first and last name. I paused in utter shock, because we do not provide this information. He noticed a pause and said I did not need to confirm if I'm comfortable, and I said yes, I do feel uncomfortable. Then he stopped pushing. And the call ended. I immediately looked him up on Teams, which confirmed he did work for the same bank as an engineer, and not only that, he was green on Teams. I then reported it to my manager, ethics, etc. I have a meeting with HR today, which I'm sure they've already reviewed the call. I've never had something like this happen. Never have reported anyone in my life, but this felt threatening and intimidating. Was this the right thing to do?